for you. Can you be my number one on that stupid thing to get me recognition?
Affordable Dentures proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.
Thank you, Oscar-winning actor Morgan Freeman, for that kind introduction. Woo! And I tell you what, guys, to help me interview the man right now, my brother, Big James from the Boxing Source. James, are you excited to speak with the living legend, Coach Ronnie Shields?
Yes. I'm ready for Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields.
That sounds more like Richard Nixon, but that's very good. I tell you what, guys, so now it's time to introduce the living legend, our dear friend. And I can't wait to pick his brain on everything that has been happening in the sport of boxing, the incomparable and very busy Coach Ronnie Shields. Ronnie, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Boy, I tell you what, you've been a busy guy. 12 different fighters with 12 different fights on tap.
Yes.
That's a good and a bad problem to have now, isn't it?
Oh, tell me about it, man. I'm in the gym all day.
Well, let's just pray that you don't have too many that are on the same date at the same time. You can't be at two places at once. How do you handle that? I know you've got a very, capable apprentice under your wings, correct?
Yes, I do. Yes, her name is LaTravia Pierce. She was a fighter, and I was her trainer, and so she knows everything that everything that I do. So she, she just fits right in. And then I have some other assistants also that really helps me out a lot. One of my ex-trainers, his name was Creed Fountain. He's also a cut man. Then I got my guy, I got Mr. Turner, and then I got this other guy named Mike Hodges. So I got some capable guys that's around me, but still, man, 12 fighters is a lot right now.
That's a lot of fight tape you got to start watching, huh? Gee, wow.
That's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what. So we really thank you for devoting your time to your show. We appreciate it, brother. And guys, if you didn't know, this is indeed Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields, which means it's all about Ronnie during this hour. Okay? You're not going to hear any stupid debates. You're not going to hear me contradict anything that Coach Ronnie says, just like you wouldn't hear anyone contradicting Tom Landry on the Tom Landry Show. Just so you guys know, right? But we appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions for Coach Ronnie, fire away, guys. Off the ropes. Thank you for being the first one in the queue. He says, finally catching the show live. And we thank you for supporting the coach on this day, guys. I'll tell you what, though. James, is there anything that you'd like to shoot off to Coach Ronnie at this time before we start the Big Fact or Fiction?
Not necessarily right now, just ready to get the fact or fiction thing going. We got some more additional questions that we'll add to it. So we got bonus coverage.
Indeed. I tell you what, look, I normally don't do this on Coach Ronnie's show because, I'm going to start this, though. This is a new segment, and it's not going to be every single week that we do this. But I need to get your take on our dear friend, Rick Glazier, and one of the tweets he made after this past Saturday night's festivities on DAZN. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glazier's Twitter watch. Bing!
Thank you, Teddy Atlas. We appreciate it, brother. So here is the tweet, and this was stated on April 7th. He says, David Benavidez, Tim Cheatham, and Clarissa Shields all embarrassed themselves last night on the DAZN show, but for three entirely different reasons. Benavidez, when interviewed, was drunk as a skunk, and Cheatham turned in a 117-111 scorecard for Richards and Hitchens when, in fact, the fight could have gone either way. And Clarissa Shields, she argued and fought her way throughout the night by what I was told by those on site. #boxing. Now, I know you didn't get to see the broadcast, but let's focus on David Benavidez. He was interviewed by Chris Mannix during the main event, or during the co-main event, in which his stablemate, Pacheco, and I'm sure you heard all about it. And
Yes,
he didn't just look drunk, Ronnie. He looked like he was under the influence of something else entirely. He was grinding his season, like, honestly, I hate to say this because this guy is boxing royalty, but he sounded like he was doing his best impression of Meldrick Taylor.
Wow.
It was sad. Yeah. Ronnie, I know that they're there and they're not fighting, but do fighters have a specific responsibility if they're going to be in public?
Absolutely, you do. You know, especially, you know, and a guy that so many fighters and fans look up to. You know, this guy, he could possibly be a superstar in the sport of boxing, but with getting on camera the way he did, you know, people are not going to respect that. They're going to think, oh, he's just another fighter that's, you know, making money, that's not doing anything to help the sport. He's just, you know, being drunk. He's not caring about anything else, you know. And people are not going to respect that, you know. You know, he came out and he apologized for being that way, but still, man, you know, that's mistakes you can't make. You know, he was there to support his stablemate, and he didn't support him in a good way.
And a lot of people are getting on fans for criticizing him publicly on Twitter, on their favorite social media outlets. But he, for all intents and purposes, and this is not necessarily a good thing for boxing, but it's the reality. He's got his own sole proprietorship. He's got his own brand, his own corporation, his own LLC, whatever he has. But that's no different than anyone from the Food Network apologizing for Paula Deen for making that racial slur. It's no different than that, is it, Coach?
No, it's no different at all. You know, look, was it a mistake? Of course. And you got to forgive him for making a mistake, you know. And I think the fans will forgive him. And I just think he just needs to watch, you know, carry himself in a light that he wants people to see him. And people don't want to see that, you know. And first thing people are going to say is, just as the same guy that's calling out Canelo, and he's acting like this, you know. I mean, it's a lot to it, you know, because people may think, hey, man, he must don't care about his career. You know, if he's going to do this and fight Canelo, maybe he won't be in shape. Why should we pay for it? You know, so a lot of different things goes into people's mind, and you know, and I would think that, you know, he knew he was going to be interviewed. You know, why do that when you know you're going to be before the public, and these are the people that you want to fight for you to get the Canelo fight. But people are not going to fight hard now.
Oh, and there it is. Those are very good points. James, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with you know, Benavidez, that was a definite step back for him. You know, given, you know, at least for me, given his momentum that he had from last year with his 2 fights and 2 performances that he had last year, number one, and like number two, you know, from a public perspective, you want to, you know, kind of like show yourself to, you know, be, if you want to be the guy that could be potentially the new face of boxing, then you have to carry yourself that way. And
exactly.
that particular instance, he did not. And it kind of like goes back to, you know, the couple of setbacks that he already had before. So it's almost like he's going back to where he was. And that's not a good thing.
Yep. And you're exactly right. And so is Ronnie. And I tell you what, guys, let's just pretend this ugliness never happened. And we can't talk about really the botched scorecards because you really didn't watch the fight. But please, every fan who's crying robbery and the fix was in, Ronnie, please tell them, because you know all of these guys in the business. Please tell them that Tim Cheatham's scorecard, he had a bad night at the office, and it goes no further than that.
Yeah, normally Tim Cheatham is a really, really good, judge. He, and it could have been a bad night. I mean, sometimes we see things that we don't see. I just hope he wasn't hanging with Benavidez before the fight.
Yeah, and you know what? I can say this, though. And please remark on this as well to people who don't think there isn't any discipline from the state athletic commissions to these judges and referees who botch. There's going to be a stern talking to Tim Cheatham, because if my records are correct, this is his third consecutive in a big-time event of turning in, well, a not-so-reasonable scorecard, and definitely not accurate. He's been consistent, but he's been consistently bad, 3 consecutive. So what do you think that's going to do? Do you think that pretty much cancels his ticket to New York on the 20th, Coach?
Oh, definitely that cancels his ticket. Look, either guy is not going to want this guy, because you don't know whose side he's going to be leaning toward, And that's the thing, and a judge is not supposed to lean toward anybody. He's supposed to be impartial to both guys. He's supposed to call it like he see it. And he haven't been doing that. So the athletic commission, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to say, look, no, we don't want this guy. He's causing too much controversy. So we don't need that. So definitely, I don't think his ticket to New York is canceled if he was ever going there.
Yep. Sorry. You snooze, you lose, Tim Cheatham. And guys, that's just a terrible coincidence, his last name being Cheatham. Okay? Let me just say that. Yeah. But guys, before we move on with Factor Fiction, let's say hello to our dear friends in the chat. Mr. Adolfo Orta, thank you for joining us, sir. Salute to Joseph, Boxing Source, and Coach Ronnie Shields. Ronnie, are we going to see Osvari next at 175?
I tell you, it's talk about him fighting 175 on the June 22nd show here in Houston with Tank and Frank Martin. But it's just talk right now. Nothing has been confirmed, but maybe we'll see him test the waters at 175. It's a strong possibility.
Oh boy. You know what? Strong possibility, guys. And we knew that this was coming. Thank you for that question, Alofo. And thank you for always supporting Coach Ronnie every Tuesday. The Boxing Scholar, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, yeah, Benavidez and Oscar had a party. Man, that was an Eddie Hearn show, so I doubt it. And he also says, forget about public image. He has a fight coming up at a new weight on the 22nd. Same show against, Alexander Gvosdik. You don't want to mess around when you're facing that guy, do you, Ronnie?
Absolutely not. Especially when you're moving up in weight.
Indeed. And this Boxing Scholar finally says, this is how he lost his belt in Canelo fight at 168 in the first place.
Yep.
Truer words were never spoken. Apparently he hasn't learned that lesson yet. Goodness gracious. Thank you for joining us, Boxing Scholar. We appreciate it. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our brother, Boxing Scholar. He has a great channel in which he brings up, a lot of interesting debate. Alan, thank you so much for supporting the coach on this day. And yes, please press the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that as well. Toby Bartlett from across the pond, welcome to the show, sir. Salute Joe, Coach Ronnie, and James in the chat. Thank you for joining us, sir. And thank you for supporting Coach Ronnie always. And Ben Israel, shalom. Joseph Heron, shalom, Ronnie. Shalom to you, sir. Thank you for joining us, sir. And just know that Ronnie is not going to talk about politics on this show. But salute to you once again, nonetheless. So I tell you what, Ronnie, without further ado, let's go to this segment. Floyd?
We ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Thank you, Floyd. Thank you so much. We couldn't do this segment without your involvement. And I'm sure that pleases Floyd Mayweather because he always has to be involved now, doesn't he? Big James, number 1, please, sir.
Hey, now look, my thing is this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, here we go with number 1. If both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia staged their media workouts in Dallas, Texas, and they should have staged the April 20th event on pay-per-view in Dallas, Texas. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact. You know, I'm trying to
Ronnie?
figure it out. I'm trying to figure this out. You know,
Best of
whose
luck with
idea-
that, brother.
Whose idea was it to do it in Dallas and not in New York? I mean, you're already not selling tickets,
Yep.
you know, and I think they did a better draw in Dallas anyway.
Mhm.
So, but why do it in Dallas and not in New York? I mean, I'm trying to figure that out. You know, maybe they know something that we don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they do, it's not working because ticket sales, guys, are still abysmal with 10 days left.
Ugh,
Come
man.
on, guys. Come on. Like, you know what? I'm going to have to start doing PR again because these guys are clueless. You want to know what I would do for Ryan Garcia if he hired me as PR? I would say this event is taking place in New York. Right now, Trump is trying to turn that into a battleground state.
Yeah.
I would say, Ryan, you're already at the head of a lot of controversy. Announce that you're voting for Trump and you would like Trump to escort him and walk him to the ring that night. Do it. I don't care if you vote for the Green Party. I don't care. Announce that you're voting for Trump and attract all the Trumpers to your event. Do it. And guess what? It would sell out tomorrow, wouldn't it, Ronnie?
Probably would.
Yep. James, am I wrong in assuming that? And should they hire yours truly?
Yeah, they should because man, I looked at the boy, when you look at these sections, man, these 100 and 200 sections there in the Barclays Center, I'm like saying, geez, this thing isn't even like not even like 30%
Filled.
filled.
No, dude.
You know,
It's abysmal, guys.
It is a bad situation, but I mean that's kind of why I've said multiple times, and in the previous last weekend, I'm saying don't be surprised if there's a delay in this fight taking place.
Wow. You know, what I can't understand is, Ryan is not known on the East Coast at all. And neither is Haney. Ryan is a big draw on the West Coast.
Yep.
You know, whether you go to Las Vegas or Los Angeles, that seems like the place to put this fight. Unless Haney was saying, "Hey, I don't want to fight on the West Coast." Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I don't know. But if you're not selling no tickets, who's going to pay for this fight? Maybe their purchase is going to get a reduction because, they're not in this business to lose money.
Sure ain't.
Coach, we can't hear you, sir. Okay, now we can hear you, sir. Now repeat. What did you say?
Yeah, I say it's crazy. It's crazy that they doing this on the East Coast and not the West Coast. Because Devin, he's not a big draw, on the East Coast, and neither is Ryan. Ryan is really good on the West Coast.
Yep.
And this is what this thing should be.
Yep.
There's fans and buts about it, but
that's right.
But maybe they talked Eddie Hearn into doing this thing, and but I can't believe Oscar would go with that, knowing that this is going to be a failure on the East Coast.
Yeah, because so far it has been. And the media workouts, you're not putting them in the Big Apple with all the press there.
Yeah.
That makes absolutely zero sense, guys. This promotion is in serious trouble now. This is when you start getting into panic mode. So come on, reach out to Trump. He can salvage this promotion, guys. So I want to welcome also my brother Low Clarity. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach at this time. Also, our brother Iceman. Yes, go Brandon. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day. And Boxing Scholar also says, Floyd breaks every mirror in his house because there can only be one. Wow. That's true. Oh, and Champ Ross, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach. What's up, Perrin, Coach, and the Boxing Source? Thank you for being here, sir. And also, Boxing Scholar says, I've got a question for Uncle Ronnie Shields. What does he think of Derek James saying that he's leaving the sport after the Ryan and Frank fights, respectively? Coach?
Well, I mean, if that's what he has to do, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, look, you got to understand, man. Derek has been in this game a long time. So have I, and at some point, I could think that maybe he's tired. He's tired, and he just wants to live the rest of his life doing something different. I mean, some people stay in the sport all of their life. They really do. But at some point, when you've had success like Derek has had, I'm sure he saved his money, and he could look at new ventures, and I'm sure that's what he's doing. And I kind of sort of don't blame him, because of the thing that's happening with him and his star student,
Errol Spence.
And yeah, Errol.
You didn't say that. I did.
I know. But, man, at some point, you can get disgusted with the sport at times, but then you come right back to it. But, I can understand that maybe he's just saying, hey, you know what? This is my last run, and I'm going to quit after this.
Ronnie, do you think it has everything to do with the, altered mentality of prize fighters these days? And I'm sure you've noticed that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a strong, no, it is. It's a strong possibility, that's happened with him, and, it's a shame, but, sometimes, man, when you wake up in the morning and you see your bright, sunny skies, and then other days it's dark. And I think he's probably seeing it dark right now, and probably, he's probably tired of it and saying, you know what, I don't need this. I'm gonna finish with these guys, and then that's gonna be it.
Ronnie, but let's face it, Derek, he would start looking old if he weren't in the fight game. Now, that's one of the reasons. Look, you've confided in me and told me, and I can't believe I'm saying this on the air, but I'm going to. That's one of the reasons why you look so young at your age. You've confided in me that it helps you stay young. Isn't that right?
It does. But I mean, like, he could pick up something else that keeps him working, keeps him busy. I think it's just about being busy, keeping your mind going and running and, doing things like that, just, as long as your mind is active, I think you're good. But I don't expect him to just say, okay, and now I'm just going to lay up and do nothing. I'm sure there's other activities that he's probably going to, get involved in. He don't seem like the type of guy that just lays around and does nothing. So I'm sure he got something else up his sleeve that he's going to do.
Ronnie, could you imagine waking up in the morning and not having to go to the gym?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That's why he's. Go ahead, sir.
Some days I don't want to get up, but I know I have to. you know, and I know I want to, and I do, you
And
know,
that's it.
and I can't imagine not getting up and not going to the gym. That's the thing I can't imagine.
Yep. And do you think he's going to miss, if he chooses to do that, make that decision and walk away? Do you think he's going to miss the brotherhood that takes place every morning at the gym?
You know what? He's going to miss it at the beginning for sure. He definitely going to miss it at the beginning. But again, it depends on what activity he takes up next. You know, there's always something that you're going to do. You're not just going to lay around and do nothing. You know, I just don't see anybody that's been in this business just laying around doing nothing. He's going to do something. So what that is, I don't know, but I'm sure he would announce it sooner than later.
There it is. Thank you for the very insightful question, Boxing Collar. We appreciate that, guys. Oh boy. Iceman says, yeah, seats that were 9,000 went down to $4,000. I think you might be looking at third-party ticket sales, because I can't remember seeing that kind of price tag at Ticketmaster. Can you, James?
Nah, I didn't see it through Ticketmaster.
No, he goes, yeah, who wants to pay that much to watch Devin Haney? Apparently nobody. Yeah. So Low Clarity says, yeah, that Trump plan is so dumb it could work. And T. Sanders with the big sarcasm rolling off the chat. Yeah, big brain on Joseph. See, that's my point. That's why it's so ridiculous. It doesn't take a mental genius to come up with some kind of strategy to promote the fight. Come on, guys. And that's it. Here it comes. Garcia could wheelchair Biden out there, and Haney could be bringing out Trump. Yeah, that would create something. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think Kamala Harris would be more his speed, right?
But who's going to pay Trump?
Uh-oh. So here it is. Now, like Haney's already saying that Ryan isn't La Raza. I don't think his career would bounce back from saying he's voting for Trump, coupled with the loss. Now, that's interesting. Have you seen Haney's new T-shirts?
No,
It says Ryan isn't La Raza, and it's painted in Mexican flag colors, the green, white, and red, and it says Mexicans for Devin Haney.
Oh, wow.
How many of those shirts do you think he's going to sell?
None.
And there it is. Oh, Jingo, dude.
That's a giveaway.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Those are going to be giveaways on fight night. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't use that to wax my car. Anyway, Andre, welcome to the show, sir. Says, good evening, Joseph, and everyone in the panel and chat. Thank you for always supporting the coach, my friend. God bless you, and thank you for being here. And that Mexican LT. Welcome to the show, sir. Salute, carnal. Salute to you, my friend. Appreciate you being here supporting the coach on this day. And it says, why didn't YouTube inform me of this live? That's something you got to take up with YouTube. And he says, well, he's using my catchphrase. Chingao, brother. We want to welcome Big Luke to the show. Coach Ronnie, a lifer. Yes, sir. And so is Big Luke. Thank you for always supporting the coach, my friend. We appreciate you being here. And also my brother who just celebrated an anniversary. Congratulations for you and your lovely bride. Many healthy and happy returns, my friend. Salute to you and thank you for supporting the coach. And guys, if you haven't already, please go support Big Bruce on his channel. Now, where were we, Big James? We're on number 2 only now, right?
Yeah, only in number 2. Yeah, so we're gonna
only in America.
Woo! Here we go with number 2, following up with number 1. Ryan Garcia is being truthful when he states he's currently praying that he doesn't hurt Devin the Dream Haney permanently on April 20th. Fact or fiction?
Well, that could be a fact. That's goes with pumping yourself up. That goes with trying to psych yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Every fighter psychs themselves out. So maybe he psyched himself out to the point to where he thinks he's really going to hurt Devin. So that's
So,
that's
Ronnie,
not nothing that's unusual.
yeah, Ronnie, I believe him when he says that. But what is the likelihood of that happening to a very intelligent, technically proficient fighter like Devin Haney?
Yeah, I mean that's slim and none there. That's kind of that's kind of wishing and hoping something like that. That's what he's doing. He's wishing and hoping. But Hayden's a really really good fighter, man, and he's always in shape. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't see it happening. That I see this as a really close fight early, but then I think Haney at the end he picks it up and and he wins it. He wins it, by about 4 or 5 rounds. I think
Yeah.
early though it's a close fight.
Yep. And most of the time when we see the elite fight the contenders, they start to create that separation over time, right?
Absolutely. That's how you
Yeah.
separate yourself from these so-called good fighters.
And that's it. Oh boy. LT says, yeah, Haney's gonna be walking out with P. Diddy. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Hey,
That's why no ticket sales are happening.
I said that earlier.
Oh geez, he's gonna be one of the Illuminati.
Oh
Whoa.
my God.
Oh boy. I tell you what, so Haney, word of advice, just do not, from everything that we've heard and everything that's been revealed as of late, just don't stay at Diddy's house past midnight, okay? Oh boy.
But the thing is though, yeah, Haney had that picture with Diddy too, so
Oh, that's right. Oh geez.
Uh-oh.
So Haney,
Uh-oh.
the dream Haney? What the hell does the dream mean now, huh? Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Dream on some of those couches. Oh boy. I can't believe some of the nonsense that was revealed from people attending those parties. That's some shocking stuff. And we're not going to take up any of your valuable time, Ronnie, with that nonsense.
right.
Holy cow. Let's just move on to number 3, Big James. No Diddy.
Oh man. All right, here we go with number 3. Too many fans and supposed new media members are making too much of Jared Anderson's apparent lack of motivation and love for the sport of boxing. Fact or fiction?
I'm gonna say fiction on that, man. Look, man, Jared Anderson is a really good fighter, and it's what it is, man. I mean, the guy. Sometimes a fighter, he says things that doesn't help. When he says, "I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna fight 1 or 2 more fights, and I'm gonna retire." It makes it look like you're not interested in the sport anymore.
Yeah.
And then people start, in on you. When people start in on you, then all of a sudden, you want people to watch you because you're fighting on television. And then when people turn the TV off, because, this guy said he's going to retire, so that's not watching him anymore. So sometimes fighters bring things on themselves, and, but he's such a good fighter that, man, he needs to keep pumping himself up. And, because, this kid, man, he definitely could be the future of the heavyweight division.
Yep. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to chuckle because that's no laughing matter. And you're absolutely right, Ronnie. Yeah, it's regardless if that's how you feel, that's not good for PR. That's not good for your promoter. That's not good for anyone else on that card.
No.
So you know what? Be more responsible, young man. I have to share this, though. I know we were finished with the Haney Diddy thing. So now his new moniker is Devin Wet Dreams About Diddy Haney. Holy cow. Wet Dreams About Diddy. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Devin the Wet Dream Haney. Holy cow. Oh, shnikes. So, guys, here is our main event of the evening. So we need to hear from Floyd once again before you read this.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
Big one, number 4, James.
Oh, man, here we go. All right, number 4. Fans and YouTube media wannabes are justified in their collective criticisms for both the Haney Garcia and Canelo Munguia undercards. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. I think there's going to be some good undercards. I mean, I think the undercard sometimes is going to outshine the main event. You know, I mean, a lot of these undercard fights are really good, man. And
Yep.
I think that, you know, I don't know where it's coming from, but I just think, you know, people need to see these matchups before they start saying, hey, these undercards are nothing. I think, you know, sometimes the undercards outshine the main event, you know, and you got to really watch it.
Take it from the sage, Ronnie. He's been in this business for how many decades now, Ronnie? 5? You don't want me to remind you of that. I'm sorry, brother.
Close to 5.
Yep, there it is. There it is, guys. Take it for Ronnie. So how can a fight card be a real stinker if the fights haven't played out yet? Hmm?
Yeah, man. You know, look, these guys are trying to get there. And this is where the best fights come from. You know, these undercard fights, man. These guys are trying to get to that level, and they want to be the main event. They do. They want their position. It's about positioning, and you only get that positioning is when you shine on fight night, and that's what these guys are trying to do. You know, I'll be looking more forward sometimes to the undercard fights than the main event, because I know what these guys are trying to do, and these are the real fights. You know.
Yep.
Because these guys want that stage.
Tell you what, James, do you smell that, brother? Yeah, that's an article right there, man, because too many people carry around this absurd, ignorant logic just by looking at them. Oh, these fights are terrible. This is undercard. Really? So how does it end up? How does it play out in your mind? And they have no idea. They're just barking like they actually know something. But you're right, Ronnie, and that's such an excellent point. Do any of these guys, do you think they're just happy making it to the pay-per-view presentation?
Absolutely not. They want that main stage. You know, and if they're good enough to get on the undercard, you know, and to be shown on TV, these guys are the ones that want to show, hey, you know, I'm next. I'm next to the top level. I'm gonna show you why I'm next. You know, these are the best fights. I'm telling you. These are the best fights.
I tell you what, and I see you there, Ty, but I promised I would not remark about, well, the name that's going to remain unmentioned for the rest of the show, but that's funny right there. But good. So let's talk about this, though. So it was announced today that the undercard at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, on Saturday, May 4th, is going to be in your co-main event of the evening. Mario Barrios versus Fabian Maidana. Okay, for the interim WBC welterweight championship. And guys, expect to be the winner of this to be upgraded to the actual WBC champ, because Terrence Crawford news is coming up. Yes, it is. Also, your former fighter, Amantes Staniones versus Gabriel Maestre, former Olympian. Ronnie, this is going to be all action, and it's going to end in a knockout.
Absolutely.
Then you've got the heartbreaker, Brandon Figueroa taking on, oh boy, Jesse Magdaleno. This one could get ugly in a hurry, and it's for the interim WBC World Featherweight Championship. Ronnie, how is that a stinker of an undercard?
That's a great undercard, man. This is
That's what I'm
talking
saying.
about. These are blood and guts fights. fights.
Yep.
These are blood and guts fights, man. These are the fights that's going to get the people excited about the main event. And then you know what's going to happen, right? People are going to be so excited because of these fights are going to be so. This is going to be bloody fights, you know, because the style matchups are just crazy. The style matchups, these guys are going to go toe to toe every single round. It's not going to be any boxing in there. These guys are going to fight. And
Yep.
then you know what's going to happen in the main event. Canelo going to hit Munguia one time and go knock him out, and people are going to be mad.
Woo! Look, now that one, I would have to see it to believe it. But yeah, stranger things have happened in the ring. So I tell you what, I think it's going to be an amazing evening on Cinco de Mayo weekend. But then let's look over to Haney Garcia undercard as well. That was announced a couple of weeks ago, right? Arnold Barboza versus Sean P. Diddy McComb in your co-main event of the evening. Did I?
Oh,
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to be the last time I mentioned that. My apologies.
yeah.
Arnold Barboza versus Diddy McComb in your 10-round super lightweight. Now, obviously, Barboza's in the co-main event because he was that's a very good practice to have in case someone gets hurt. You don't have to scrap the entire card. Obviously, he's in the weight division. He would be an acceptable opponent at 140. So that's why he's going to be in the main event. And then you've got Beck the Bully Melakuziev taking on Pierre the Bomba from France in your 10-round super middleweight fight. That guy going to get his ass whooped. And then John Scrappy Ramirez will face David Jimenez in a 12-rounder for the WBA interim flyweight title. That's going to be a great fight. When have you ever seen John Ramirez in a terrible fight? Never. So I'm excited about this one. Also, they're adding a fourth to the undercard. Charles Conwell is going to make his debut with Golden Boy Promotions, going to be taking on Nathaniel Gallimore.
Terrible fight.
You know Nathaniel Gallimore, don't you?
Absolutely.
So why don't you like this fight, Ronnie?
It's terrible, man. I can't believe they put that fight on television.
I can't believe they're putting it on to start the broadcast.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about the best undercard fight. All of a sudden they come up with that one.
So that one, you can actually say, yeah, that has no business being on pay-per-view.
No, absolutely not.
Isn't what Nathaniel Gallimore, isn't he like 100 now?
Nah, but
99 and a half.
He's
and there it is, guys.
A number of punishing belts already, so it's
Yep.
Yeah,
So, guys, keep in mind, guys, he's making his Golden Boy debut. Okay, but Ty says, or T. Sanders says, "Thank you, Joseph and Coach Ronnie and James, for doing these discussions. There's too much drama in boxing to actually know what's going on." Yes, and that's why we have Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields, and we're all very fortunate. Alan seconds that sentiment. Real Boxing, yes, sir. Oh boy, here we go. Are we ready for the next one? So guys, once again, we encourage everyone, judge slowly. Okay, let's wait and see how the fights play out before you slam the gavel down and determine it to be a stinky undercard, okay? Go by the advice of Coach Ronnie. Guys, we'll all be better off when you do that, when you practice that. James, are we on number 5?
Number 5, yes. All right, here we go with number 5. Tim Bradley is correct for once when he states, if Benavidez were that much of a boogeyman or a gangster, he would be facing David Morrell Jr. while waiting for a shot at Canelo. Fact or fiction?
Well, that's a fact. Tim Bradley,
Yes.
you got one right.
Oh, you almost made me spit out my water when you said for once. Holy shnikes. So, Ronnie, Yeah, Paulie went and further stated, and he pointed out Muhammad Ali. He said that's why everyone, now technically everyone considers Sugar Ray Robinson or either Charles Burley, was it, to be the greatest of all time.
Right.
But he said most mainstream and casuals will consider Muhammad Ali to be the greatest for that reason. He fought everybody.
Yes,
And he
did.
fought everyone regardless of style matchup, regardless of how hot they were. Even when he wasn't in his prime, he fought the absolute best. Why isn't Canelo doing that?
Well, because he don't have to. Yeah, you look, because he's such a big draw right now that, he can pick and choose who he wants to fight, and every fighter, people, they won't say this, right? Fighters will not say this, but every fighter wished they was in the same position as Canelo Alvarez. And you know what? Canelo's not making a decision to fight certain guys by himself. He has other people around him that's telling him, look, man, you fight this guy, you fight that guy. We don't have to fight this guy until such and such a time, or never, And look, as long as he's the draw, as long as he's bringing in a lot of money, television don't care, the fans don't care, because he's the hottest thing in boxing right now. So he's making the calls, and and everybody wants to make money. So this is the way you do it. And if he, if the pay-per-view is a failure, then a promoter can come up and say, hey, now you have to fight this guy. You have to fight the guy that everybody wants you to fight. If you want to get back and make the kind of money that you're making. Otherwise, these people aren't in a position to lose any money. Nobody wants to lose money. Everybody wants to make money. And as long as Canelo is hot right now, and he's making money for everybody, including himself, then they're not going to say anything to him because he's making money for all the boxing organizations also. They get a piece of that $35 million. So, and how many guys are making that kind of money?
Oh boy, none right now in the American market.
Absolutely.
Nope. Well, I tell you what, that leads us brilliantly then into number 6, and this points out to another serious dilemma.
All right, here we go. Number 6. Paulie Malignaggi is correct when he states that Canelo Alvarez has a responsibility as the current face of boxing to defend his titles against the perceived best at 168, and is wrong to take advantage of his financial stature in boxing. Fact or fiction?
You got to read that to me one more time. I got to read that one more time for me.
All right. Paulie Malignaggi is correct when he states that Canelo Alvarez has a responsibility as the current face of boxing to defend his titles against the best at 168, and is wrong to take advantage of his current financial stature in boxing. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fiction on this one. And the reason I say fiction is because, look, Canelo Alvarez is the fighter. Simple as that. The guy got great management. He got, he has people behind him, and I'm talking about fans, that they just want to see him fight. And fans sometimes don't care who he fights. They just want him to put on a great show. And that's what he gets out. That's what he goes out and try to do every fight. So, who are we to say who is the best out there right now? Because you know what? Benavidez thinks he's the best. Canelo thinks he's the best. Moreira thinks he's the best. Everybody thinks they're the best. But, the fans are the ones who makes the call.
Indeed.
On these things. And Canelo basically is the only one that really selling fights, So whoever people want to see him fight, they don't care who he fights, and he's fighting, someone that has a great record, who people think is going to give him a lot of competition. So this is why they're going to buy this, because they know that Munguia is going to put up a fight, because this is what he does, and this is who he is. He's coming to win. He's not coming to lay down. So people are going to watch this. So to say that, he's not fighting nobody. He's not doing that. He's definitely fighting capable guys. And, look, when he stepped up and he fought W.A.W, right? Nobody criticized him for doing that. But, he went up in weight, he lost, he came back down in weight. That's just to let you know he didn't give a rematch because, obviously, he didn't feel he can beat W.A.W, even at 168 pounds, because W.A.W said, "Look, I will come down to you and fight you at your weight." But he didn't do that. He didn't want that. So, fighters have to be smart too. Don't think that, fighters aren't Superman, they're fighters. This is who they are. And sometimes he bit off a little bit more than he can chew when he lost to W.A.W. So this is why you didn't see a rematch. It wasn't because, I knew I could beat this guy. No, I can't beat this guy. This is why this guy is not fighting him again, because he knows that's a fight that this guy has his number. It's called being a smart businessman. Boxing is a business, and people got to realize this. In business, sometimes you have to pass on certain things, and this is what he's doing. So he passed on W.A.W and said, "You know what? Now we're going to fight Munguia." And Munguia, look at him, man. Look, he's an undefeated fighter. He got 30-something fights, and he's undefeated.
It's going to be a great fight.
Absolutely, it's going to be a great fight. And he comes to fight. This is what he does. And you have to take it for what it is. So people are saying Canelo ducking this, he's ducking that. Well, you know what? Ducking happens in the sport. But if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, Ronnie. To someone who's already taken on Miguel Cotto, Erislandy Lara, Floyd Mayweather, Austin Trout, right? Triple G 3 times. And there it is. So that's a far cry from someone like David Benavidez, who isn't pulling the same kind of numbers, isn't the big draw. Look at his last pay-per-view numbers, for example. That's a very different scenario, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Very good.
There's no money to be made there. And he's claiming here, I take $5 million. Well, you may not sell $5 million.
Yeah. I haven't seen him do it yet. But look. And Big Say-So says this. Canelo a duck. Now, I'm going to do this. T. Sanders says, Big Say-So, you hear that? Coach Ronnie refuted your duck allegation. Yes, sir. There it Absolutely. Is. Now, I'm going to, please intervene. Please hold me back, because I am not in the business of making an example out of anybody. Big Say-So says, Joseph, when are you going to debate me? Remember we talked about this on Electrojet's channel? Vaguely, sir. Vaguely. I remember you saying that, he's not really in the business. I want to debate this guy. And I'm like, okay. He says, I want that smoke, bruh. Ronnie?
Yes.
Please tell this gentleman that he doesn't want any of my smoke, brother. That there are levels to this, just like boxing. Please tell him.
Yes, indeed. There's levels to this thing.
Yeah. And Ronnie, please tell him how long I've been in this wacky business. Longer than probably he's been able to buy liquor legally. Right? Come on now. You don't want this, Big Say-So, okay? Look, I tell you what. If we do actually engage, I promise I will take out half of my brain so it'll be a fair fight. Okay?
Ooh.
Thank you for being here and supporting the coach, my friend. Big Luke says, I wonder if Austin is making any kind of cash in that bare knuckle stuff. I tell you what, he's putting on some ass whoopings for some bare knuckle fighters, though. Ooh, did you see his last event? He gave that poor guy a boxing lesson. His face looked like mole. Ooh, that was sad. Ooh.
Yeah, he stole him.
Oof, that was brutal. Brutal. G Funky Boxing, welcome to the show, sir. Greetings, gentlemen. Greetings to you, sir. And guys, don't forget, if you're out in Northern California at the Gold Country Casino on April 26th, G Funky and Uppercut Promotions is going to be there with Victor Guerrero, the nephew of Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Should be an outstanding event. Guys, go support live boxing in Northern California. And want to welcome Mr. Team Batman Boxing. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day, my friend. Where were we? We're on number 7 now, aren't we, my friend?
Yep, number 7. Yep, got a few more. Well, let's see how many we got. Yeah, it should be a few more, but we'll see how many we can fit here. But all right, here we go with number 7. All right. PBC missed out on an opportunity to boost the profile of Jerron Boots Ennis by not adding him to the undercard of Canelo Munguia on May 4th. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. He's not a PBC fighter.
And there it is. There it is. Woo! Guys, well, please rectify this. He has never been a PBC fighter, has he, Ronnie?
Absolutely not. He had a deal with Showtime on his own, which was very smart.
With Cameron Duncan.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
But guys, since you're bringing up Jerron Boots Ennis, let's talk about Terrence Crawford, because a lot of fans wanted to see him. Hey, why aren't you taking on Jerron Boots Ennis, Terrence? Well, Terrence did something that's very intelligent, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Obviously, the reason why Spence Crawford 2 didn't happen, because, well, no one wanted to pay that steep purse for what they perceived to be another one-sided ass whooping. So what is Terrence Crawford doing? And I'm sure you've heard this news already. He is now talking and negotiating with the Saudis to stage his next fight, which will be for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship, Israel Makhmadov versus Terrence Crawford, coming to a theater near you. And from what I've been told, Ronnie, it's going to be on DAZN. Brace yourselves for free subscriber DAZN. How do you like that? Now, that's very smart if you're Terrence Crawford, because, Coach, how many other promoters were willing to pay his steep financial demands?
Not many.
Nope.
Not many. He's going to the right place. He's going to the right place. They love boxing. They love great fighters. And he's definitely a great fighter. And, you know, and people want to see a good show. And Terrence is going to do that. So, you know, so that works out for everybody. You know, people in Saudi, of course, they're going to pack the place. And the television, you know, people that already subscribe to DAZN are going to get it for free. So the ratings should be really high.
Yep, and they're doing this to boost subscription numbers. Guys, I can't see anything flawed in this strategy. This is an excellent idea. So credit to Crawford, credit to DAZN, credit to the Saudis. You know what? This is a win-win for everyone now, isn't it?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
And there it is. So, Ronnie, what are the chances of us seeing a Spence Crawford rematch in 2024 or the near future?
Slim and none.
No.
Slim left town.
I can't say that I'm disappointed in that, though.
No, because of what happened last time.
Yep.
Look, you know, sometimes people think, oh, because of the weight. Look, man, you're champion at that weight. You know? And if you didn't think you could make it, you have to say, okay, I give it up. Got to move on to the next weight. You know, do that before the fight. You know, it's no. I never heard Terrence come out. I mean, I never heard Errol come out and say, "Hey, I lost because of the weight." Yeah, I never heard him make that excuse. You know, I heard other people make it for him, but he didn't make it. So, all he said was, I lost. I lost to the better fighter that night. Simple as that. So we'll see what he looks like at 154.
Well, first of all, he has to lose about 50 pounds to make 154, Ronnie.
Of course, but he had to
Did
do
you
that
see him in the
to
ring?
make 147. Of course.
Oof.
He's big.
Oh, boy. He looked like a biscuit shy of heavyweight. That's what I'm saying. James, do you have anything to add to any of the revelation that we actually disclosed at this time?
Well, that looks like some news to drop in an article or something like that. But I feel like that's a very interesting move, or would be an interesting move there for Terrence Crawford to have that fight against Israel Madrimov over in Saudi. I guess they'll try to pull it off for the summer to see about him getting a world title there at 154, and then after that, we'll see what the next direction is for Terrence Crawford. But yeah, for the time being, looks like the 154-pound division kind of like is held up by what Terrence Crawford does and the the current status for Sebastian Fundora, of course, with his injury. So we got to see how that shapes up for the rest of the year.
And guys, if you're wondering of the status and how long it's going to take for Sebastian Fundora to get back in the ring, just consult our last episode of Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields, in which he, was very specific into how long that injury takes to completely heal. So you're looking at 5-6 months, guys. Yeah. Yep. And there it is. Coach Ronnie knows. That's why we have this show, guys. Yeah. Oh, geez. I tell you what, though, guys, but just to let you know, this isn't just a rumor. From what I was told, Terrence Crawford, as well as Izzy Madrimov, have already agreed to terms. It's only a matter of time before it's announced. That is right on the money, guys. Okay? The only thing, never mind. I've already spoken too much. I probably shouldn't have even said that. Oh, goodness. Next one, Big James. Number 8, is it?
Yes, number 8. And I'll flip it. So number 9 will be flipped here. But I'll make this number 8. Cody Crowley is blowing his chance at being at the top of the welterweight division by not taking a fight with Boots Ennis and instead facing Suleiman Sissoko. Fact or fiction?
Oh, my gosh.
It could be a fact. Look, in order to move up, man, you have to fight the best.
Yeah.
You have to, when that fight is offered, that's what you in this business for, to fight the champions, man. And and to fight the best guys. That's what it's all about. And when you turn those down, then you can't get mad when you see yourself in the rankings and you're why I'm way down there. That's the reason why you're way down there, because you don't have a name on your resume.
That's it, guys. And once again, it goes back to a big problem, and we discussed that with the David Benavidez Fact or Fiction. Ronnie, when did these guys become businessmen exclusively and all want to be Floyd Mayweather, even at the club level? When did this happen?
Oh, it's been happening, man, for a long time.
Oh, jeez.
Fighters want to put themselves, and then you don't have that backing. You got to have a backing to put that money up to get these big fights. And you got to big fights up with big names. You got to fight names, to make that money. You're not gonna make big money fighting nobodies. It's not going to happen. It don't happen in this sport.
Jeez, I can't believe it. Like, honestly, it's shocking to me how many guys at the club level even are saying this nonsense. Hold on. I missed something. Oh, here it is. Alan, just so you know, I'm not forgetting about you, brother. Thank you for hanging with the coach. He says to Mr. Aaron and Mr. Shields, well, that's Mr. Shields. His opinion tonight is the one that matters most. He says, we may be 2 ahead, but do you guys have any early predictions for El Gallo Estrada versus Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Coach?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
I don't see anybody beating Bam Rodriguez right now. That's
Nope.
just my opinion. I think this kid is he is unbelievable, man. And I'm so glad the smaller weight divisions are finally people starting to recognize and see that these guys put in a lot of fights and they come to fight. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. While this could be a great fight, I still say Bam Rodriguez wins this fight.
James, do you concur? Because I can't see it playing out any other way. I agree wholeheartedly with Coach.
Yeah. I think Bam is one of the better young fighters there within those divisions. Whether it's flyweight, super flyweight, you probably go up to bantamweight at this point. Therefore, Jesse Bam Rodriguez and for Estrada, he was part of that great era there for super flyweights, but this is going to be something where Bam Rodriguez collects another name there from those lists of super flyweights that he was able to face and be able to beat.
Yeah, guys, putting it mildly, he's gonna whoop that ass. Like, there's no other way about it, guys. Like, Bam is gonna make an example out of El Gallo Estrada. So why isn't Bam in everyone's top 5 pound for pound list just yet?
It's just the weight division, man. It's just people don't seem to respect the guys in the lower weight divisions. I don't know why, because there's some great fights down there, man. Look at Inoue. He's a great fighter.
Oh, he's coming up too.
Yeah, and people don't give this guy the credit he deserves, man. And the rankings he deserves. This guy, he's up there. And I think people just don't see these guys as much as they see the other guys. Put it, that's just the only thing that we don't get to see them as much on the big stage like we see everybody else.
Yep, guys, so be on the lookout. And honestly, I really wish that fight were in San Antonio, where it should be, in Glendale, Arizona. I know that's a suburb of Phoenix, but come on, guys.
Yeah,
Why is it not in San Antonio? That's an easy 30 to 40,000 fans.
Absolutely.
If you're looking to make that pass the torch statement, put it in his damn hometown, Eddie Hearn. Shit. Yeah. And G Funky goes, yep, passing of the torch.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, James, next one, sir.
All right, here we go. Number 9. Yoenis Tejas will show that he is a serious contender in the 154-pound division when he beats Joseph Jackson. Fact or fiction?
That's a fact.
Woo!
Let me tell you
Yoenis
something,
Tejas.
This kid, man. This kid, he impresses me every day with the boxing, when I'm doing the hand pads with him. Just, this kid, man, he impresses me every single day. He shows me something different. This kid, he was born to be a fighter. Just simple as that. This kid, man, he works hard, and he wants to be a champion. Ever since people have seen him now on the Showtime on one of the last cards, and matter of fact, the last card, and he really impressed with the knockout that he got. And let me tell you something, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this kid at 154 pounds.
And there it is. Thank you, James. That was a great one. Next one. Is this our last one?
Yep, that's the last one.
That was the last one.
Yep.
Holy cow. Well, congratulations, Coach Ronnie. You just survived this edition of Fact or Fiction. Woo! I tell you what, wait a minute. What's it going to be like with David Benavidez and David Morrell Jr. on the same card at the same press conference at the Toyota Center?
Ooh.
Ronnie? Please give us an appetizer, brother, an amuse-bouche, so to speak.
Yeah, man. I think it's great. But you know, the thing about it is Morale. He's such a laid back kind of guy. You know, he's going to go in there, shake hands with everybody. That's what he does. You know, he's just a great guy. You know, until he's pushed. You know, once he's pushed, then things can go the other way. But you know, but no, he has no animosity toward anybody. But I think it's going to be good, and I think a lot of people are going to come out for this fight because look, it's going to be a great undercard and a great main event. So people are going to want to see this, and I'm glad it's going to be here in Houston at the Toyota Center.
And there it is.
June 22nd.
Yep, you get to have dinner at your house and then just drive over to the Toyota Center downtown Houston. I tell you what, guys, I'm also happy because I don't have far to go to cover this event, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be right there, guys, at the Toyota Center, June 22nd.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Guys,
I gotta be there.
You've got to be there. We got to get the gang back together. Can you imagine doing a show live in Houston with Coach Ronnie, all of us on location? And there it is. We got to be there. Guys, I'm also going to be in Corpus this weekend to cover the top-ranked card as well. And I promise you, don't get jealous, G-Funky. I'm going to take a picture with the Selena statue right there on Shoreline Drive. How do you like that? Now, one last thing from our brother Team Batman Boxing. He's a Junto Nakatani versus Jesse Bam Rodriguez would be a big fight soon enough. I've got Junto on that, seeing the size of him, almost the same height as Crawford. Man, well, Ronnie, in my opinion, though, you're going to have to wait a very long time for that because Junto just moved up to 18, didn't he?
He got that world title.
Yep, that's it. So, guys, that would be a dream fight, but let's just hope that eventually we get to see the meeting of the badasses because, Ronnie, at this time, could you imagine anyone beating either fighter?
No, absolutely not. I think both guys are at the top of their game right now in their respective weight divisions, and who knows? And maybe in a year or so, Bam will go up, and then we'll get to see that great fight.
Last time we saw anyone that dominant at 118, that big, that imposing, was Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And that's
Santa
a future
Cruz.
Hall of Famer right there. So I'll tell you what, let's hope it happens, but that's a dream fight at this point. Absolutely. But James, do you have anything else for the esteemed Mr. Ronnie Shields?
Not at this point. I know that he's, going to be very busy over these next couple of months. So he's definitely going to be working over in his camp for a whole long time, all the way through the summer, it looks like.
Yep. And there it is. That's how we want it. That's how we want it. But Coach Ronnie, thank you for giving us your valuable time. Guys, if you didn't see any part of this program, go ahead and just rewind it to the very beginning. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Now, isn't it? James, your parting shots for our listening audience before we say goodbye to everybody?
Well, I just said, posted it there. If you enjoyed the content here for War of Week Boxing, be sure to hit the like button. And, of course, we're here every Tuesday with Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields.
And there it is. And guys, don't forget to subscribe and bookmark theboxingsource.net. And please go check out James's midweek report tomorrow evening that's at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
And there it is, guys. But Ronnie, Coach Ronnie, do you have any parting shots for our listening audience, sir?
Yeah, keep listening to War Week Radio, and you can always follow me on Instagram at official Ronnie Shields.
Guys, and that'll do it. On behalf of James Bell from the Boxing Source, and on behalf of the living legend, Coach Ronnie Shields, I'm little old Joseph Herron. Thank you for listening to War Week Boxing, everyone. Have a great evening, everybody.
shine.
Affordable Dentures proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.